wife is actually on her calls. She's doing her thing. She's on her important, like she writes contracts or whatever. So she's off on her own. And my kids, well, now it's summer break, but my kids would be going to school. They're actually on screen. They're on Zoom with other people. So it's easy to kind of feel very lonely. But what happens when we get kind of back to normal? You're now all alone. And my cat, she's around here somewhere. I call her my boss. She's actually, I wouldn't be surprised if she actually shows up on the screen. But that's like basically my biggest companion. I also have my dogs. But for the most part, you can't really interact or engage with them other than pet them and they purr and do that stuff. But it's easy to feel very lonely. So I'm going to share with you one of the ways that I kind of just minimize the loneliness. So that way you can kind of just maybe adopt this in your day-to-day, your process. And you can also this can also help benefit your business as well. And one of the ways I've done that is by starting or joining a relevant community. So for example, right over here, hold on a second, I created a group on Meetup. And with Meetup, what we do is basically this allows people to kind of just get together and create either an industry-specific common interest and connect other people, or it could be personal, whatever the case is. So in this case, I created a group called the Digital Marketing Secrets. And this is a South Florida group, but now that most people are at home, a lot of online has been the way of doing business. But I ended up creating a community that focuses on digital marketing. And this is like my way to kind of just build engagement, stay relevant with people. So that way, if you're feeling lonely, I've created this community, right? So right now we have over 2,100 members, and we've had a lot of online events. Before the pandemic, we did a lot of, where's my events here? We have a lot of physical events as well. So I created a community to kind of just still engage with people. People message you through here. And when you're hosting like webinars, kind of like similar to this, host a webinar relevant to your industry or your common interest, and you'll find that people are going to embrace this as a way to connect with other people. I also have discovered ways to do professional speed networking to help introduce people so that they can develop new business or professional relationships as well. And in fact, if you guys are interested in that, you can always reach out to me and maybe you can be a part of another professional speed networking event that I'll host in the future. But this is one way that I've created a community that's relevant to my industry. Plus, I'm a geek and I love all this technology. I love testing different things out, hearing about new things. So it really kind of just helps me personally and professionally to create this community. Now, let's say you can't create a community. You don't want to create the community. Then don't. You can either join another community. So like, for example, let me go here to Meetup. And right in here, you go ahead and type in, look, you can, let's say cycling, right? You type in cycling. And, oh, okay, maybe that didn't work out. So bicycle. Let's type in bicycle. Like, man, I need spell check for dummies. All right, so bicycle. So you type in, look, there's some 8 scenic cyclers going. This is a way to build and interact with other people that are interested, right? So that's one way you can join an established community or start your own. Another way to do it is Facebook, right? If you go to Facebook and just go to /groups, right over here, there's a Facebook group for everything. And right now, people are so open to this type of connection that it's likely for you to connect and engage with new people. So, I mean, it can literally be Microsoft. What can I do search here? So let's say Microsoft group. Microsoft Word. I mean, there's a group for practically everything. Yeah, Microsoft Word. A group just for Microsoft Word. I don't know. I'm not a part of this group. But if you could find a group on just the most technical topic, I'm sure everyone can find a group that's relevant to them or what they find interesting in. All right, so that's one way I overcome that loneliness. Create a group or join an existing group, and you can join multiple groups. Okay? There's no limit. At least I don't think there's a limit on Facebook and Meetup. I like the idea of creating my own Meetup group for my business because that's also a way to generate leads or business. It could also help start new relationships because people can refer you. So it's been very, very helpful. in my industry and personally as well. I met some great people through here. All right, so let's go back. So the next thing is clients or your boss may feel that you're just not being productive because they can't see you or they can't hear what you're doing. They don't have those physical meetings. So that's one of the challenges that I've noticed while working remotely. People kind of just question, man. I remember when I was in the Marine Corps, when I was just like a young private or young private first class, they wanted us there because they felt that they couldn't trust us to be off on our own. So they wanted to be able to kind of just see us and make sure everything was good to go. Now that we're working remotely, how do you overcome that? And one of the ways I've done it, there's a bunch of different ways to do it, but one of the ways I've done it specifically for clients is that I have something called the status updates. So it's a project status updates tool. And what that means is, let's see if I can give you a quick example here. So what we do at Miami Marketer is that we have it's kind of like a digital manifest. So right over here, or status updates. And what you're going to see on the screen is basically every time there's an update with the project, this is a file this is a page that we've created for all of our clients. They all get their own individual file. And we're using Elementor, and we're using like a plugin that allows us to do timelines. But you don't have to get as fancy as this. You can actually just do like a regular Google Word doc. And what we do is that every time we make an update, we create bullet points to kind of just note what's been happening with that project. And this actually really came from this one question that I've found myself answering over and over again. And my clients would ask me the question, hey, what's the status of my project? And you know what, if it's just one person, what's the big deal? Just tell them, hey, this is what we're working on, this is what we're doing. But when you start getting like 5 clients or more, and they're all asking you the same thing, you may just end up spending like hours just trying to refresh the last thing you did with that person, trying to figure out what you did, write it down, send it off, and then they're probably going to have questions and ask you more questions. So you could end up just wasting an entire day just answering a question that this one page can answer. So you'll notice that if I scroll down, I put the dates there, and they can actually see everything that's been happening with their project. So that way they feel like, oh man, Carlos and his team, they're very active, they're very engaged, they're actually working on my stuff, so I don't feel like my money's just being burnt. Like I can actually trust that they're working on my stuff, right? So this is one way we've overcome that. And it's been a godsend. It really has minimized that question, hey, what's the status of my project? It also is a tool that we use when we're closing out a project. We deliver this page to let them, it's kind of like a tangible, because we work in, we're digital, so we do a lot of digital stuff, so there's no physical product that they receive, but this is just one of the components we deliver at the end of a project, so that way they can kind of just see a log of everything that's ever been built for them or done for them. Now, sometimes this also covers us. Sometimes the client will ask a client, hey, we need the login names and passwords for this, and we'll document it, ask the client's credentials. Then a customer will say, well, you guys never asked me this, or we'll come up and show them, look, we did, and we didn't get your actual credentials until this date right here. So this is also helps us not have to worry about remembering things by putting it all here. It makes it easier for us to kind of just look back on it and remember why things got delayed. And it also communicates amongst our team, so that way the team knows what was the last update for the project.